The following segments are a presentation of Smacking Off the podcast.
以下片段是 Smacking Off 播客的演示。
And now, Smacking Off the podcast.
What's up?
I'm listening to the Buckeye Bro Show. Contributor Alex Bryant. Let me turn this down. He's doing the Buckeye Bro Show. I want to give him a shout out. They're doing a countdown for their bowl game against Mizzou. Countdown. There's like numbers and a countdown and a clock and whatnot.
If I'm not mistaken, Ed has already said that the Buckeyes shouldn't even show up to this game. Mizzou's got this motherfucker.
They've got a countdown. That is the most optimism that I've seen out of Alex Bryant with all of these Ryan Gray shenanigans in a hot minute. So good for him. Excuse me.
All right, so these Washington
smacking off the podcast. That's our podcast, the one that we're doing now. I'm sorry, I messed that up, but I just happened to be listening, and he said that the Texas-Washington game is going to be the greatest playoff game ever played.
It could.
That's really the only reason that I brought him into the very beginning of our show, which is unprecedented, I know, and I'm sorry to have to, dump that on everybody last minute. But
here's my question.
I figured it was worth a mention.
Here's my question: where's the Washington people at? Because they're all our Washington guys were slated for the first segment, which is right now.
They don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke.
Oh, Bruce is here.
Bruce
Martinez, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Martinez does
What's
want
that?
that smoke. I love it. I'm here for it. All right, Bruce, lay it down. What's going to happen? What's going to happen in this game?
What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
What would I like to happen?
No, what's going to happen? We want look, I want pain. I don't want dreams and hopes and aspirations and wish and standing on top of the mountain and the butterflies going. I want raw reality. I want the deer chasing.
Well, I can be like
deer getting chased by the cougar in the woods, and the cougar's going to win. Who's the cougar here?
And say, Washington 35, Texas 28.
That proves to be a tight contest. Will it be decided in the last moments of the game?
Hell yeah. That's what you want if you're Washington. You want the ball last. I mean, if you look at them this season when Washington's had the ball last, that means they win.
Again, this is Texas. I don't know if anybody has watched any Texas games this year. I know
yes, I have.
One particular Texas game that I watched that I wasn't a really big fan of, but Texas won that game. Very important game. Now that was I was against a slightly different team than the team that wears those uniforms now. Wink.
Yeah, they are. The last 4 games of the season, I think, were very determinative of where they're at right now. And there were solid games that they won. So no, there's no mistaking why Alabama shouldn't be there along with Texas. Even though I'm more suspect on who and what Texas played. I mean, Oklahoma. Not that they're an easy team, but I didn't see any real reason why Texas shouldn't have won that game. They had the weapons.
Yeah, they beat Alabama. They beat Alabama in a game that nobody really gave them much of a chance to win going into that game.
Yeah, but this is one thing I'll say with Alabama, this is a total different team than the one Texas is. what he played in the beginning of the
offensive
season.
line problems in particular have been greatly improved, which has improved the whole offense. I think we could all agree.
Yeah, if we win this one and we're lucky enough to roll into the game against Bama, I'm looking forward to it. In fact,
Yeah, but
Hold on. Wait, back up.
Yeah, we can't look past Texas and
No.
guarantee
Look
that-
past Michigan.
No, I'm
That's
not.
very true.
I mean,
I'm
you didn't
not.
say anything about going and playing Michigan after this.
I would love to play Michigan. I would like
Hold on. I mean, you didn't give them any chance just a
Harbaugh's
second ago.
ticket. What?
I like
The only
that. I mean,
the
I
only
like
scenario-
that attitude and I like that spirit. It is
I do
it is
too.
a bit unexpected. Hey, I'll take it.
The
That's
only
right.
scenario you laid out was coming to play Bama. You didn't say anything about playing Michigan.
Because I think Bama's going to beat them.
I mean, I agree with you.
I mean, I don't. I hate to say, Ed. I know you're here, but I just don't. I just don't see Michigan beating. I think sometimes Michigan plays more vanilla than they should, and I think one of the
They
reasons
have
don't
they
have a
have
passing
played a lot
attack.
more narrowly since they got caught cheating.
Ed, you have a
Yeah.
hot mic. We gave you a hot mic because the Washington people didn't show up except for Bruce. So
Ed,
go
Ed,
ahead
are you here with me?
go ahead and tune in.
Hey, Ed.
He may be having his coffee, getting ready for his segment.
I'm out of coffee. I'm rather bummed
He's
about it.
talking, but I don't hear him.
Oh goodness!
Your mic's not
Yes,
working.
that
You probably need to
sponsorship,
back out and then come back in, Ed.
Yeah, since that sponsorship with Bones fell through.
Yes,
Well,
we've been having
No
this
more
problem.
Bones Coffee Girl. Doug, why don't you reach out to them so we can see that Bones Coffee Girl that you love so much?
I mean, we could just put her in the background if you want to. For the
Oh
whole
yeah,
show.
you can do that.
She's
I mean-
she's a lot cuter than Hulk.
Can you doctor it where she's in like a dress, like a green one-piece dress with like no visible underwear?
And this isn't really Hulk Hogan in his glory days. This is kind of on the back end of his career. The picture that you got posted up. I prefer 84, 85, the golden years.
Now, Shannon, I think that Michigan's an interesting opponent for Alabama, and I think that they fall right into each other's strengths. And I think that if Michigan just thinks they're going to pound Alabama, running the football over and over again, that sooner or later that Alabama's linebackers are going to crush at, and it's a horrible idea. I just don't think that Alabama's a good matchup for Michigan.
I don't know. Las Vegas seems to think that they're a 1.5 point
Well, I like Milrow
favorite.
so much.
I mean, that's a pick 'em.
Can you hear
Ed, can
me?
There's
Yes,
Ed.
you're
What's
there.
up, homie?
All right.
See,
Ed Schroeder, ladies
Shannon
and
pissed the
gentlemen.
government off several years ago.
No, I didn't. I didn't piss nobody off.
Shannon pissed the government off, and they fuck with our sound all the time now.
No, that was Bob when he had that beef with Windstream when he worked for him. No, he don't.
It's my fault.
It's kind of, sort of, yeah. You shouldn't have pissed that lady off, and you should have gave her what she wanted. She wanted that wire, and you should have gave it to her.
You're right. I should have gave it to her. You're right about
you
that.
should. You could have played that way different, Bob. I'm kind of surprised at you because you're like a resident pimp on this show.
I know I'm so committed to my present relationship that I wasn't able to take the necessary steps, but I feel that I came out of it in as far as my own conscience, I came out right.
You're definitely a Johnny Cash man.
Yeah.
You found your June.
Okay,
You're
so
right.
let's give Ed a chance to respond to Bruce.
All right, so Michigan by 9.
Michigan by 9 against Washington.
9 points, Bruce. That's a lot of points.
Nope, against Bama. 33-24.
No, that's not what Las
39,
Vegas is saying. I'm going with Vegas on this. We're going to
What's
beat
Vegas
them
saying?
by 1.5 points.
What is Vegas saying?
1.5.
So
Alabama.
they still got Michigan favored?
I don't know if that's moved or not.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
Alabama? Michigan is favored by 1.5 points.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's important for us Alabama fans because we always seem to do good as an underdog. Saban has a sterling record.
Yeah, he has not lost as an underdog in the last. The last
Not
time
in the Alabama Crimson Tide. I can't remember the rest of his career.
I can tell you the last time it probably happened was against. I was going to say against Florida in the SEC championship game in 2008, but I think actually Alabama was favored in that game. You'd have to go back to 2007 more than likely to find Alabama losing as an underdog.
Damn, that's a long time. That's almost Mike Shula era.
First year. That was a long time ago.
No, they haven't been an underdog a lot. And just about every one of them has been against Georgia, to be completely honest.
What is that, like 6 times, 7 times, something like that? Over the course of Saban's career at Alabama, they've been an underdog.
I think it's about 5 times total.
Yeah, and I would figure most of those would be in season 1 after the Louisiana Monroe debacle.
Maybe.
Yeah, that happened.
But I will preface this that I add that the one main point that I see the chink in the armor with Michigan is their lack of a passing game. Where I've seen virtually none, and that's a real stickler.
McCarthy's not that great at methodically leading them down the field with a mixture of the run and the short and intermediate passes. But McCarthy can make the big play and go deep. So I would expect that we're going to come out slinging it around and being aggressive and trying to jump on them.
Well, you're going to have to stretch him, and Bama has some great defensive backs, so it's going to be a tough nut.
Michigan does not have the signs in this game, at least that we know of. I mean, there has been a few weeks they may have been able to manage to find out a better system, but as far as I know, they do not have.
No, we got
signs.
new outfits. We got new outfits.
Well, that's important.
New disguises.
I don't know how y'all gonna live that one down. That was really, if it weren't for Penn State and what they got caught up in, Michigan would really, y'all would really take the cake in this one, because that was some bullshit, man. You know it. I know it. The American people know it. I can't wait till justice is done. Harbaugh will be long gone from there, but
so isn't this so special with the Big Ten all the time trying to put themselves on a pedestal in terms of what they see as their own academic and their own integrity, and yet the Big Ten has been so slow to move on this or to come out with any information. So I really find them to be particularly hypocritical, and that's the kind of things I love to talk about on the podcast.
Well, the Big Ten investigation's over.
It is.
Well,
there
are 4 other teams involved in this.
I investigated for about 2 hours on YouTube, and
2 other.
Well, yeah, Ohio State's just trying to stick it to us.
Yeah, but they're involved too, and so is 2 other teams that were.
Y'all saw that motherfucker on the sideline of somebody else's team dressed up in their uniform.
Let's talk about all the teams in college football
I've ever
that don't
seen
do
in my whole entire life.
Show.
I truly understand. There is not a team in the country that doesn't scheme off other people's signs.
But dude, that was like the most pent ultimate.
Was really bad. I mean, that was their whole focal point of doing that. When they designate one person who run a program for them to do that. I don't know how to say it, Ed. It's wrong.
It was dead ass wrong, and I'm here for it. I mean, I love the spirit behind it, but I really hate Michigan. Sorry. I mean, it just is.
It's okay. I hate Alabama, but you're convicting us before trial here. I mean,
no,
you know,
I'm more than willing to wait.
Of course, this is college football, man. This ain't fucking people's court.
But it's not Saudi
I had that
Arabia.
shit figured out in 5 minutes. I had y'all seriously. I've already got y'all penalty figured out if the NCAA would take my phone calls. Y'all, it won't be the death penalty, but it's going to feel like
the Big Ten who doesn't want to penalize himself, and you don't you don't have you have a gutless NC2A that doesn't do absolutely anything. After Herm Robinson got away with, Herm Edwards got away with the shit he did in Arizona, it was indicative of what NC2A does.
Well,
I
I mean,
agree.
they had actual video proof of a Wade down at LSU paying the kids before it was legal to pay the kids.
Yeah,
Seems
and
like
it took them
a trite
years.
thing now. Threw
You're
up both
right.
LSUs. Come get me, motherfucker. Lawyered up and everything. It was a beautiful thing, and it showed you exactly how really. I mean, what is the NCAA for now?
What are they? What?
I was actually in a conversation with somebody about this today, and they were kind of picking my brain about what I thought about it. And my feeling about the NCAA is kind of like it's kind of like with police. We've seen all across the whole entire country, we've seen this wave of legalization of marijuana, and all the police unions have fought tooth and nail over it because it generates a lot of revenue for local municipalities. It keeps the crime numbers up, and police can kind of, hey, we're keeping drugs off the street. Well, then suddenly they're legal, and it's not a drug anymore, and it's not regulated like that, and they have no jurisdiction over it. But yet they keep fighting to keep it illegal, and we all know the reasons. It's the same reefer madness stuff that we've been hearing for 80 years or 90 or 100 years or whatever it was. And whenever the prohibition against marijuana really kicked off in the early part of the 1900s. But
1927.
I'm getting all point. What it does is that, it's one less, it's kind of an easy thing to tell when, you stick your head in the car and you can smell it from a mile away, and kind of leads to some other things that are going on. If somebody's going to be doing this, then what else are they going to be doing? We got to search the car. You know what I'm saying? So what has happened is paying the players and having the players benefit financially in some sort of way was an easy, kind of an easy open and shut case for the NCAA. And in most cases, they could find out quickly who did it and how it was done, and the bag man, as it were, in most cases. Find out that the church got a new roof, somebody's driving a new Cadillac, those sort of things. Well, that's gone now. NIL has completely eliminated that. And if that was the NCAA's bread and butter, and that was what they were kind of really justifying their whole existence for, I mean, boy, they're going to be running after just about everything that they can think of. And if there's no real true penalty, all you have to do is lawyer up the proper way. All of the Power 5 institutions should do just fine. Provided that they don't do anything egregious enough that the conference wouldn't want to step in and help pay that lawyer tab. You know what I'm saying?
But now it's about eligibility, though, Shannon. Since they still control eligibility, they can punish people through eligibility. If you're watching any college basketball this season, it's rearing its ugly head where the NCAA is now making the transfers ineligible, even though they've loosened the transfer rules and they want the NIL. Now they're making it tough to get eligible again. That's how they're going to try to throw their power around us by using eligibility.
Especially now that you're seeing the conferences grow larger, eventually you're going to have a situation where there's going to be some major pushback on a big issue, and the conference is probably going to emerge the victor. Because again, when it's all said and done, who's going to have more money at the end of the day?
Well, that's the problem. That's the number
the
one
SEC right now. You want to talk about a giant, big, massive pile of money, and we're just talking about just the member institutions. We ain't even getting in all the TV and all that shit.
Why everybody wants to join them?
Every team that has a whole lot of money is going to control, and that's just what it's boiling down to. It's we had a wide receiver that we wanted, or tight end, and USC came in and gave $1 million. Well, where did he go? USC. So, but all teams now have that. That's the only equalizing thing, is that all teams can do it if they got the resources. Period.
Guys, y'all take a short nap and we'll be right back.
Let's do it.
watching, or listening to Smacking Off the Podcast. If you love it, tell your friends about it. If you hate it, share it with your enemies.
Open up your eyes, you're about to see a new thing. Open up your eyes, you're about to see a new thing. Open up your eyes, you're about to see a new thing. I got it. You want it, I can read you like a mood ring. Everybody wants this new thing. Pick it if you like it, everybody want a new thing.
We are back.
It was a quick break.
That was quick. We're fast.
Oh, yeah.
We're faster than fuck, aren't we?
Yeah, but we are back on Smacking Off the Podcast.
We
And
are. Even though Madden is, I think he's on the toilet or something.
that's okay because he'll come back with more renewed vigor and drive us through to a logical conclusion. Well, I love the commercial because it had comic books in it, right? So you could deal your comic books on eBay. Is anybody familiar with that racket?
I've sold a few comic books on eBay.
Oh, well,
I've sold a little bit of everything on eBay.
Because now they're graded, right? And you got to pay somebody to grade your comic books, so you can't. Nobody will buy them. So it's kind of a racket.
Yeah. I don't really. The way I've done it is I buy big lots of them, and then I split them into smaller lots, and say fuck you if you want them, then grab them. If not, and I'm not grading them. I mean they're in good shape, and that's all I say. And I do sell them, but I don't sell
That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Well, I've got thousands of comic books. I'd like to get rid of a bunch of them. For example, I've got every X-Men from 1 through 300, the entire John Byrne, the entire Dark Phoenix era.
I'm looking at a Team Titans comic book right now.
A real one that has the George Perez art.
Don't ask me that no shit like
81, 82 time frame.
It's a DC. I don't know. I'd have to.
Is it a 50 center, a 35 center?
Probably. Let me grab it.
Oh yeah, and that's what it's like. Looking at what's going on now that we're in the college football playoff, guys. It's like it's getting to superhero level of talent that's going on in these games, and that's what a lot of people hold out for all year long, is to see this level of struggle. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed by Michigan's run game. I'm impressed by Washington's resilience. I'm impressed by Milroe at Alabama, and I'm impressed by the offensive and defensive lines of Texas. All those teams have something to offer to package to go make these games competitive, right? In the case of Washington and Texas, I think that if they can't control Penix, Washington has a chance, but Texas could crush it. What do you? Because their defensive line is so strong that they could cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, Texas has the better defense.
Yeah, and now in case of Michigan, Alabama, I feel that Michigan is a extremely powerful team, and they got great line play as well, and that's what the reason they're able to support long drives into football. But what they haven't seen this year is a pair of safeties like Alabama's, and that's why I give Alabama a chance in this game, is because Alabama has safeties. I don't think that Michigan is going to wear them down, and if they go deep on Alabama, I think it'll be impressive. But to me, Milroe's the X factor of that game. If Michigan can control him and keep him in the pocket, which nobody else has done, then that's what they got to do to win the game. But otherwise,
that's the key. Got to keep him in the pocket and make him get and put enough pressure on him so that he's got to get rid of it. But don't let him run all over the place, because then the plays get extended, and the receivers, if they weren't open before, they're going to get open. And Burton can get deep. So,
yep, that's what they got going on, and that's why I find these playoffs more compelling than last.
Well, we're due for a playoff with 2 good games, because I don't know if it's ever happened.
I think Bob froze. If you look at his face, he's completely froze. Look at him. No, he's back. Bob, say something.
What's up, Maddie?
You're talking to the wrong guy. He ain't here.
Oh, I was trying to see if I'm still on here, but for all of a sudden, every screen I had went to little circles for a second, like I had Winstream or something. You
Well,
know,
that was kind of, yeah, because they're fucking with you. They're still fucking with you.
you're still fucking.
I mean,
but
I know you're not using Windstream, but they've got friends everywhere.
Oh, they run by my house today with somebody in a bucket truck. I probably knew them come by my house today, and they slowed down. They should have come and talked to me. They must have seen my company vehicle sitting out here, my big van from hell.
They got a contract on you.
They got a contract on me.
They've hired 8 people to come whoop your ass at some point. They said to get you from behind, though, didn't they?
Well, so I got a new theme song now. It's Just a Job I Do from Genesis 1983, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or should it be Lido? So we got Bruce on here. We got to get West Coast on some boss gag. Should it be the Lido shuffle? Should I skip town because I got one more job to do?
Bruce, where do you live? Do you live in
I
Seattle?
live in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay, so that's not
south
Seattle.
No, just south of Seattle. It's about a half hour away.
Okay.
And I'm originally from Napa Valley, born and raised there. And
when did you move up into Washington?
I moved up here in '93.
93, so right around the time the grunge scene was hitting.
Yeah. The Hilltop. But the very first game I went to watch the Huskies was the '91 game against Cal, and that's when I became a lover of Cal.
So you're not a Husky from birth.
No, but 2 of my kids graduated from there.
I got you. So that'll do a lot to change the mind, won't it?
My oldest boy swam for the University of Washington, and went on. He's still coaching swimming.
So tell me this: do you go back to when you were a child? I mean, were you a college football fan as a child?
Yeah, I remember, and that was the great thing when it was the Pac-8.
Yeah.
And I go back into watching the Oakland Tribune as a kid, and their cartoon section every Friday prior to the games had really great cartoons. You know, Cal against Stanford, or Cal against UCLA, or you know, the Pac-12 teams in general. And in fact, I would venture to say the Oakland Tribune was one of the best sports pages on the many years, along with the San Francisco Chronicle. They were 2 of the best. I guess Red Smith and Dickey and people like that were great writers.
So who are the other 2 Cal quarterbacks besides Aaron Rodgers to start in the Super Bowl?
Oh, gee. Goff? No. Did Goff play? Yeah.
What?
Goff. What's his name? From
the Goff that was at L.A. and now he's at the Lions.
Lions quarterback.
Yeah, and so he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams.
Plunkett with Stanford. Who's the other one?
Oh, that's right. There's 3. That's right. Goff is the 4th. That's right.
Yeah.
So there's 2 more besides Goff and Rodgers. I'm sorry.
I can see his face.
The guy that played for the Rams in the 80s, what was his name that was throwing the Flipper Anderson? Didn't they go to the Super Bowl with him? The one that they said that he was too soft and he went after the ESPN announcer. What was his name? Jim Edwards?
No.
That was the kid from Wazoo.
Oh, yeah. He, for some reason, he came to mind because he went after the ESPN announcer for calling him soft.
Yeah, oh God, what the hell's his name? And he had a great arm.
Hey, Shannon, you remember the guy from L.A. that went after the ESPN announcer because he said he was soft? Played for the Rams?
You talking about Vince Ferragamo?
No, that's after Vince Ferragamo. Blonde-headed boy.
Vince was another one, Vince Ferragamo. He was the other second and third quarterback from Cal that played in a championship game, Super Bowl game.
Yeah, he played.
There's one more. So you got Goff, Ferragamo and Rogers. There's one. You got to go way back.
And I can see his face, but being 74, I kind of lose step every once in a while.
Joe Cap.
Joe Cap. That's right. That's right. You're 100% correct. He was a hell of a quarterback too.
He was good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Going into Cal's history a little bit, they've always shot themselves in the foot and have always thought themselves to be an academic school and not a college football school. And they have the regents there at Cal have not been very supportive of the program. They've been very stingy with the money, and even getting to have the facility there at Cal refurbished and redone like he did in, I think it was the 90s, it took an act of Congress for them to get it accomplished, which was sad. That's during the Muncie era. I don't know if you remember that. But, yeah.
Now, when has Cal and Michigan last met in the Rose Bowl?
That had to be the 50s, 59, something like that.
Yeah, because Cal hadn't been there.
It's been a long time.
All right, so I'm going to run one more break, and then we're going to come back with Beamon or Justin Pike or whoever it is this time.
Hell yeah.
All right.
You are now watching or listening to Smacking Off the Podcast. If you love it, tell your friends about it. If you hate it, share it with your enemies.
Hi, we're Fiverr, a global marketplace connecting individuals and businesses with freelancers offering thousands of digital services. Graphic design, web development, video editing, e-commerce marketing. You name it, there's a professional freelancer ready to make it happen. Filter your search by the service needed, budget, timeline, and boom! Fiverr provides a list of talented freelancers to meet your specific needs. Always know what you'll pay up front. No hourly rates, just project-based pricing. And because payment isn't released until you approve the work, you can rest assured that you'll be satisfied with the quality and get exactly what you want. Our support team is always available to answer questions or offer assistance when you need it. With the whole world of freelance talent at your fingertips, what might you achieve? Join today and find out. Fiverr. It starts here.
VidGo, streaming made easy. In the fast lane of streaming, VidGo offers the best live TV experience, period. Quick sign up, great features, and the widest selection of live sports, news and shows. All with no contracts and no hidden fees. It's never been easier to gain unparalleled access to virtually everything, wherever you are, for an unbelievably low price. Pay just $20 for the first month on any qualifying VidGo plan. Follow the Smacking Off VidGo affiliate link in the description for the best prices available.
All right.
All right, so we've got, is it Landon or Justin today?
It's Justin.
What's up, Justin?
How are y'all? What's going on?
So, man, we found it very interesting that you picked Michigan the last time you were on the podcast, and now you're willing to suck somebody's dick if Alabama doesn't win this thing.
Yeah, just a little change of heart, change of sexuality. You know what I mean? So we're gonna roll with the tide on this one. We're gonna fuck a female instead. So that's how we're gonna do. So if that's all right with y'all, I think I'll be good.
All right, so you're our Alabama rep today, and let me introduce you to Ed Scrivener, or Scrivener, sorry.
Scrivener.
Ed.
What's going on, Ed?
Say hello to
How are you?
Justin.
How you doing, Justin?
Hanging in there, my man. Hanging in there.
All right, so
ready to get
here's what we're
whooped
gonna
on
do.
Monday?
I'm gonna mute my mic, and we're gonna let y'all go at it.
Let us go at it.
We're ready, man. We're taking the tide down.
Why do you believe that, Ed?
because it's going to happen. This is our year. We're pissed off with all the bullshit that's been going on. The team's tight knit and they're fucking determined, especially after that shit show against TCU last year.
You mean where y'all tried to cheat?
We didn't try to cheat during the TCU game.
No, you did actually. There's a whole article about it actually. Connor Stallion's on the sideline holding the signals, but fortunately Sonny Dykes got word of it and completely fucked the plan up. I'm not trolling you. I'm serious. There seriously is an article about this. I'll be happy to private message you the article and you can see it for yourself.
Take your word for it.
I'm serious. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I picked Michigan to beat TCU, and I thought y'all were going to absolutely demolish them. But then when I saw that article, it all made sense to me why you didn't demolish them. And it was because you went in with a game plan of their signals, to be fair. And then the game went on, it backfired. And so that made sense because I didn't understand how y'all could lose to TCU. I really didn't. Y'all have way more talent than them and all that. Y'all would have gave Georgia even a better game than TCU did. I fully believe that, despite what the score was.
Well,
so
yeah,
I was always curious what happened. And then when I saw that article, I was like, damn, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
I didn't know that now. You my age, you forget shit, so you know.
Why did y'all do it though? Why do you think they did it? Why do you think? What was the reasoning?
I mean, to get an edge. Why else would anybody do it?
But why did you? But I guess what I'm asking though, why did you feel like you needed an edge against teams like Michigan State, Iowa, and Rutgers and Northwestern? Like, you recruit way better than them. You have way better athletes. We all see the NFL draft every year. No one from Northwestern is going first round. Rarely an Iowa guy goes first round unless he's a generational tight end or maybe an O lineman like Tristan Wirfs. No one from Rutgers is going first round. Michigan in their sleep has way more talent. I don't get it. I get Ohio State. That makes sense. They have a hell of a lot of talent. You know, they all had a good game with them every year, heated rivalry. I get that. That makes sense. I just don't understand the scouting of like Rutgers and all that stuff. Me and you could coach Michigan and beat Rutgers.
Perhaps.
That'd be like Alabama needing to scout Mississippi State or Vanderbilt.
Well, we don't know how deep it goes in terms of who was in on it. We don't know that. We can speculate until the cows come home. We don't know. And there is a chance we will never know. Because that shit sometimes goes down like that.
You know, when
Joe Biden.
You think Harbaugh's going to the NFL?
I'm concerned about it, but what makes me really want to puke is that it came out the other day that if he does, a leading candidate to replace him would be Brian Kelly, and then I'll.
Good.
I don't like that guy one bit.
I don't blame you there. I don't like it. I don't really care for him either. I think he's a decent coach. I just don't, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think he's just
Harbaugh.
No. I would take Harbaugh over him. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if he leaves, you got to go. You don't have to go get a Michigan guy. I know that Sharon Moore, I think that's his name. He did a good job during the suspension, but if he leaves, you got to go after somebody like Lance Leopold.
Sure. Hey, Moore won more games this year than Jim Harbaugh.
No, Moore was 6 each, right?
No, was it 6 each?
No, actually it wasn't. No, because they had different head coaches in the first 3 games, and it wasn't just Sharon.
Oh, okay. So Sharon wasn't the actual head coach in the first 3 games. He was only the head coach in the last games.
Might have been for one of them. But then, you know, when it came time, we got to play Penn State. Maryland, you know, proved to be a little tricky. In Ohio State, we can't be messing around having 3 different dudes coaching 3 different games. We We got to pick somebody. So, that's what they did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But,
Well,
God, Brian Kelly, no.
yeah, no, I don't blame you there. I'm not a Brian Kelly guy. I don't. Matter of fact,
I hated him before the fake Louisiana accent fiasco.
And he the funniest person ever, man. He's like Hugh Freeze level of funny. It's unbelievable.
now, Robert, I don't know if he's that dirty.
Oh, he's just funny
Well, at
as
least
hell,
Hugh
though, man.
Freeze
He goes,
is trying to fake it now.
yeah.
I mean, Hugh Freeze's problem is he'll sit here and preach to you about the Word of God, but then when he walks out the door, he's sitting here handing out cocaine and strippers.
Oh yeah, I mean he's baptizing guys. Him and Bruce Pearl down there. I mean it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty rough when you're baptizing people, but then after you get through with the baptism, you go and do some like really shady shit. I mean, I don't know if Brian Kelly's doing all that. He may just be doing the shady shit. I don't know if he's actually preaching the Word of
the
God.
whole coon ass thing that he tried to sound like he was from Louisiana and all that. I mean that's awful. That'd be like me trying to sound like I'm from New York City, right? I mean it's just unbelievable. You got to be who you are, right? I mean if I'm a recruit and I'm watching him try to sound like Jerry Clower, I'm sitting there thinking, man, who is this guy?
That's right.
I mean, you can hate Harbaugh all you want, but he's not fake. Brian Kelly is fake.
Oh no,
yeah.
Harbaugh will piss on anyone's shoes, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, my only problem with Harbaugh I've ever had that I thought was really strange, I think it was the recruitment of. I'm originally from Georgia, so the recruitment of Aubrey Solomon. Y'all had a D lineman named Aubrey Solomon that was from Leesburg, Georgia, near where I'm originally from. And I believe Harbaugh went so far to go over to this man's house and have a sleepover and did like arts and crafts with his little sister and like all this like really like weird over the top stuff. And I was like, all right, man, I get wanting to land a recruit and all that and, everything. But when staying at the man's house, having a sleepover, like we're 12, that's a little creepy to me. I mean, call it what you want, a little creepy for me.
Is it like Michael Jackson?
Yo.
You're back.
Well, and that was I don't know. I just came back in after the commercials and nobody could hear me.
Yeah, because if you came back in, it was because you wasn't added to the stage and I wasn't paying attention. I thought,
you're a dick.
It's okay, Shannon. You were with Hugh Freeze.
I had a lot of
really
strong opinions, some witty things to say. I was backing my bros up, my Bama bros.
Yeah.
You were with Reverend Freeze doing some cocaine. It's okay.
Reverend Freeze and Reverend Pearl. Let's not forget him either.
Reverend Pearl, yes, Reverend Pearl.
Jews for Jesus.
Ed, let me go ahead and put this out there. Ed, you're gonna love Brian Kelly once he gets up there.
No, I'm not.
Come on now, just calm down.
He's not awful.
No. Did you see him do the dance with the one dude? Don't he like dance with the players and they like film it and shit?
Oh, that's sweet.
So they can make.
Ironically, that player he danced with ended up coming to Alabama.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Danny Lewis. He's like our third string tight end.
That's important.
If you're talking about the win-loss record, if Brian Kelly goes to Michigan, it'll be like having Bo Pelini. We'll go 8-4, 9-3 every friggin' year.
You're definitely James Franklin. James Franklin will slide over a state and do the same thing, and probably for half the money.
I feel sorry for you.
James Franklin slide over where?
Slide him over to Michigan when Harbaugh leaves for the NFL.
That's not happening.
Why not?
I just don't see it happening.
I mean, those are pretty much your
big game, James.
Who really worth their salt is going to come, especially with what the NCAA is cooking up for the Michigan program. Who's going to come up there and save them? James Franklin is perfect for that. Think about the state that he found Penn State in when he left Vanderbilt, of all places, and was able to, kind of keep things together.
Mark Stoops would fit in well.
He's a
He'd
miracle
bring
worker.
his dinosaur offensive style, and he'd fit right in with Michigan. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all
Plus,
could,
he-
y'all
8,
could,
9 wins, he'd be great, man. All these new super conferences. Hey, 3-4 loss teams are going to get in the playoffs soon.
y'all can look like
it's going to happen.
y'all can look like two monkeys trying to fuck a football with Mark Stoops calling offense.
Yeah.
Oh, the defensive coordinator would be Bob Stoops.
So he's gone
Is he still
now because
alive?
he went to Indiana, but Kirk Cignetti would have been a good hire.
So Ed, here's what we got to know. And I hate to interrupt you, but if I don't say this, I'll probably forget. Who do you want? Because Harbaugh is definitely leaving. So who do you want to see in there?
Harbaugh today was a little skeptical when someone asked him about a question about the Chargers head coaching vacancy. He was he's a little. You ought to go Google it. Y'all listen to it.
You know why, Landon? Because he's got other teams looking at him too, and he don't want the Chargers to get overconfident.
Well, he's got a lot on his mind too. Let's be honest. All this stuff going down with the NCAA. He doesn't have his team signs anymore, and actually has to win games.
Look, he's not focused on Alabama. He's not.
A lot of different things going on in that man's mind.
Oh, he doesn't care. Look, the man came out today and said Jalen Milroe was a good comparison to the Michigan backup quarterback. And Kirby Smart just a month ago said that Jalen Milroe reminded him of Lamar Jackson. So we went from Lamar Jackson to the Michigan backup quarterback. He's not focused.
Wait a minute.
He doesn't watch film.
Milroe was a backup last year.
He was.
And this guy that Harbaugh is referring to on the Michigan roster is very talented and is raw like Milroe was. So now he shouldn't have said it because Saban's running with that and it's all over the fucking blackboard.
Hey Ed, can you blame him?
No, I don't blame him.
Hey, can you blame him though, Ed? Be honest with me. Can you blame him?
Saban?
Yeah. Can you blame him though if he ran with that? Could you blame him?
Oh, of course not.
I want those young men to. Just to see the shade.
But
of
who do I? If
Blue
Harbaugh
and
leaves,
immediately just start pulling guns out. I want.
If Harbaugh leaves,
the most violent response from these young men that I can possibly imagine.
Wow,
Shannon, you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street? The scene with
some Nancy shit.
Yeah, man. That's like when the stomach pops open and stuff. That's what I want those young men to do to the Michigan players. And I don't want anybody to get like legit hurt, but it wouldn't. I'm really
sounds like it.
Saban will be on Pat McAfee tomorrow.
Tell us who you
want. I know
want.
these are young men, but these are young men conditioned for war, and I want to see war. I want to see bloodshed.
Harbaugh leaves. I want either Lance Leopold or Jamie Chadwell.
Oh, Chadwell?
Come on, how about Urban Meyer? Come on.
Yeah.
He's not.
Don't know what you got.
Did y'all see? I assume y'all seen the movie Four Brothers.
Yeah,
I did.
It's called Step Brothers.
I seen Step Brothers. Yes.
Yeah, don't touch my drum kit.
Four Brothers with
don't
Mark
touch my
Wahlberg,
fucking drum kit.
Tyrese Gibson, Andre 3000, Terrence Howard. Great movie. Anyway, at the end,
I gotta see that. I like Andre 3000. That's my jam.
It's a great movie. But anyway, he ain't coming.
Flute.
Urban Meyer is not going to Michigan.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it's
he
going to be a
needs
nice 3-year run.
He needs to stay away from that whole entire area because the last time he went up there hanging out at Ohio bars, oh man, it didn't turn out well for him on the internet. He got laid that night. He actually did pretty well that night, but
that was a Jacksonville bar.
No, but
it
I thought that was it was up in Ohio.
It was at Cincinnati.
Yeah,
and he did not take the team plane home so that he could go to a bar and cop a feel with a 22-year-old.
Man, he didn't. He didn't cop a feel. He at least got top, dude. Don't think they're second. I mean, seriously, he had his whole entire arm down her pants.
Damn it,
you just don't do that.
Hey, remember, doesn't matter. Had sex.
That's serious. That's serious business. That's you're getting the D. You're getting the D whether you really like it or not. And she looked to be rather receptive. She was having fun.
Oh shit! Yeah, she was like, "Where's that bank account?"
Yeah, I wonder how well Urban Meyer's hung. You know, he's kind of a tall fella.
Dude, Urban Meyer's a big son of a bitch. That son of a bitch like 6'4", 6'5",
He
seriously.
probably hung like a donkey.
But Shannon wants to know about his dick. You don't know.
Yeah,
about
he
that.
probably
no,
hung like a
I don't know
donkey.
about that one now. You have to ask Tim
dude,
Tebow about that one.
You're right.
I mean,
They
it
were
must
in
be
love
decent
once.
because his wife didn't leave.
That's true.
I
That's a
know.
very valid
Well,
point.
He might have
yeah,
hand.
but that's all about money. You know that. Of course,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
she
know
could
how
have
much
got
more
some-
money he's going to make at this point. It's all going to be like TV shit now.
Okay, so I'm going to take one more commercial just to piss everybody off.
Sure, why not?
Hi, I'm
Let's do
Quentin
the
Beach,
call.
and this is Smacking Off, the podcast.
It's like cocaine or something. I don't know. These motherfuckers just talk about college sports, specifically college football, and man, let me tell you, it's a hoot.
You are now streaming Smacking Off the podcast. You can keep up with our current activity on Facebook at Smacking Off or Smackologists. Find us on YouTube at Smacking Off the podcast. And stay right where you are. More Smacking Off the podcast is headed your way.
And we're back to
All
Smacking
right.
Off the podcast.
All right.
Now, guys, I keep hearing something crazy here in Kentucky, and I don't know what to think of it. But there's a reporter I know over here in Huntington, West Virginia, across the river. He keeps telling me that he thinks that Stoops is going to end up at Michigan or Ohio State, and that Kentucky's going to hire Urban Meyer.
Oh,
Why would
come
they do that?
on.
I'm just telling you the craziness that I heard, right? And I said, how does that make
Reporters got to
sense?
sell stories.
Yeah. Well, he said, I asked him, how does that make sense? And he says, here's how it makes sense: is that's the only way that Urban Meyer can get into Division I school at a power conference.
What are you talking
Is it
about?
come-
He
does it
can
come
get
back
in-
to
he
the
can
SEC?
take he can take any job he wants at this point. I mean, he can walk into just about any university and say, you know what, kind of stretch his arms a little bit. You know what, I'm feeling like coaching right now.
I don't know, Shannon. I don't know. I mean,
He could have had the USC
shit got
job.
ugly. Shit has gotten ugly.
USC didn't want him. They wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe
it's
not.
it's
If he
possible
goes,
that
if he goes anywhere, it's USC, and all he has to say in the interview is, "I don't drink."
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe Lincoln Riley should start drinking. I don't know. There's issues there.
Lincoln Riley right now is doing a pretty damn good job of whipping up on that Louisville team that Florida State fans bragged about beating.
Oh shit! I forgot about that game, Landon. Give us a score update, Landon.
It's 28-14 at halftime, and for the fellow fans, especially Florida State fans, listening to this, I want everybody to understand that USC is out here tonight, a 7-5 USC team now. For reference, they're out here without Caleb Williams, so they don't have their quarterback, just like Florida State did not have their quarterback, ironically. They don't have their starting running back, Marshawn Lloyd, and they also don't have another pretty solid offensive lineman that's supposedly going high in the NFL draft.
Is Brendan Rice playing?
Yeah, I think that's who it is, Rice.
He's a receiver.
Excuse me, receiver. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Michigan man.
Did I say last week USC does not have bums at the skill positions sitting on the bench?
Yeah, USC's always been solid at the skill position. That's what I mean.
But they got all Americans sitting on the bench waiting their turn. So yeah, Caleb Williams isn't playing, but the guy behind him doesn't suck.
No,
So-
Miller Moss.
and not
Miller
only-
Moss is out here. They scored 28 points in a half, and he has 4 touchdowns. That's more than Florida State scored the whole game.
That's 3 more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think
but
Florida State only scored
Louisville's also
16.
Louisville's missing their starting running back, who's pretty good, so that hurts them a little bit. But yeah, USC +7 on the spread was a joke. Now they could still lose the game because their defense is bad, but you know.
Yeah, they're 121st in the country, or 120th in the country in total defense, and like I said, Florida State. I mean, Louisville ain't. Look, and it'd be one thing if Louisville had a shit ton of opt-outs, but I think, like you just said, I think they're missing their running back and maybe like one other offensive player. But other than that, from what the article I read before the game, they don't have like this insane amount of opt-outs, and that's why they're losing this game. I mean, this is a pretty still intact Louisville team.
Yeah.
So, Florida State fans, listen to this. Hey, doesn't look great. Just saying, doesn't look great. Tried to tell y'all last podcast. I tried to tell you.
They would have got smoked by Michigan.
Florida State would have gotten smoked by any team in the top 10. Penn State, Ole Miss, Missouri, Ohio State, Texas, Alabama, Michigan, Washington, Oregon. I mean, pick your poison.
They could have hung with Penn State because Penn State's offense is suspect at best.
Well, I tell you what, Michigan, man, we'd have taken the under and we'd have enjoyed some money.
Yeah, that's a fact, isn't it? Yeah.
So
we would have been damn proud.
So Florida State and Georgia is an interesting game to me from the standpoint that that somebody's calling in. But anyway, from the standpoint that I think now Florida State is vilified because their hard stance. We're saying they should have got in, that they've made enemies, and now people are going to root against them.
Yeah, because of the links that they've gone to.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they've gotten Ron DeSantis involved.
This motherfucker's trying to call me.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I think the 16-point spread is.
Who's calling?
A Washington guy that can't get in.
I hated it.
Michael Broadnax.
They want to decline it and not show him our goodwill there, Shannon.
I mean, I told him.
Well, I mean, I'm in the middle of a podcast. Damn it! Well, I wasn't for a second there, but
so
now I'm back in the middle
once
of
you
the
try to
podcast.
come in,
it's a historic week for college.
Oh my God, what is this?
So it's a historic week for college football coming up in the next couple of weeks with the CFP. This is the last time before we have 12 teams. We have 12 teams. Florida State would have got in. They had a chance to get exposed.
Yeah, and it'd have been great. I'd have loved it.
I'm having trouble hearing.
Everybody, y'all need to decline that call because it kind of it halfway mutes your
And they so
yeah.
the Georgia game is what we got in order to expose them. So I'm gonna be watching it heavy.
Yeah, well,
Is
the
Georgia
problem.
motivated.
Yeah, Georgia's motivated. I think Brock Bowers and Amaris Mims, their starting left tackle. And look, hold on. I need to get something understood with people when I talk, because I post a lot about how bowl opt-outs people quit on their teams. And let me rephrase what I mean by quit. I am not referring to players who, for example, like Brock Bowers this year. Brock Bowers, when he played Alabama in the SEC championship, he was dealing with an injury. Ladd McConkey for them, their number one receiver. He was dealing with an injury. Their left tackle, Amaris Mims, he was dealing with a knee injury, and he actually went out in the middle of the game. I am not talking about players like that decide, hey, I'm going to opt out of the bowl game because they're truly hurt and they don't want to risk anything. That makes sense.
That's right.
I understand
Brock Bowers
that aspect
knows the
of
ball
it.
because Brock Bowers has a lot.
He's going top 10 in the draft. He's already hurt anyway. Now, if he was fully healthy, I'd have a different little discussion about this. But he's already kind of limping a little bit, and I get it if he doesn't play and he doesn't want to risk injury. That makes 100% sense.
Here's the more important point, though, Landon, is that really Georgia doesn't need him to beat the living dog
they
shit
don't.
out of FSU. Come on, man.
No, they don't. No, that's not the point I'm making though is that's not my problem with bowl opt-outs. It's not people like that opt out. And I don't even have a problem Caleb Williams opting out. He's going number 1 overall in the draft. I get that. That makes sense. But it's the people like Taulia Tagovailoa for Maryland that opted out. Why? You're talking about a guy who might not even get drafted. He's 5'11", and he might not even get drafted in the NFL. Somebody like him
because he didn't want to throw 9 interceptions against Auburn is exactly why.
I know, and it's because they're scared.
Young fella's stats ever since high school, he knows how to throw some interceptions. He loves.
I know. I remember watching him at Thompson.
And this team that is their defense is a
you're exactly right
Michigan,
about the opt-out.
Michigan man, the former Ed, your former quarterback, Joe Milton, he came out today and opted out. Why?
He sure did.
Why? Why did he opt? What gives him the right to opt out? Why?
He don't love football.
He is at best a career backup in the NFL if he stays.
Sure, but you know what? Somebody like him needed a bowl game to change some people's minds
I mean,
about
Joe
that. But you know what
Milton.
he said? He said, "Fuck it, I don't care."
Think about the available quarterbacks that are coming up on this draft. I mean, where does Joe Milton fall?
Oh God,
third round, maybe.
Shit, based off measurables, because he's 6'6", with a cannon arm. Someone will take a chance on him. But still, he needed a bowl game to go out there and kind of showcase a little something. But instead, I'm not going to play because I'm a pussy. And that's where I have a problem with people opting out. It's people like him that ruined it.
Full disclosure: my next article that I'm starting tomorrow is about opt-outs, and I was going to already make that point that you made about. I wasn't going to use Brock Bowers, but some guys that already have an injury. Yeah. They could play, but why? Whereas somebody who's completely healthy, that I'm not playing because they got to where they are by being part of a team.
I agree.
I mean, if that's the case, just opt out of the whole season. I mean, shit, what's the point? Just opt out of the whole damn season.
The opt-outs. Yeah. So the opt-outs are going to start to go down next year. With the expanded playoff. If Ohio State was in the playoff, Marvin Harrison's playing. USC's in the play. Now, the shit will hit the fan if a big-time player whose team is in the playoff ever opts out. That'll be a very controversial happening, if you will.
That guy, if whoever that is, that dude will get flamed. I don't know who that will be if that guy decides to do it, but if it's a fully healthy, high caliber player opted out and their team is in the playoff, that God be with that dude. He is going to get shit on.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And that dude will be fucked. I don't know who that'll be. It could be one of our players. I don't know.
Well, I can promise you with NIL money and all of the things that we've seen now, the shift in the change in attitudes in the actual players. Oh, it's a coming thing, and we're going to see it sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
but that NIL money can pay for the Lloyd's of London insurance policy.
Yeah.
Which means there's even less reason to opt out.
Yeah, I mean, I like you got guys like these players that are in the MAC, for example. I think Ohio's starting quarterback opted out of his bowl game when he played Georgia Southern, and there's some other guys opting out. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, shit, why didn't y'all just opt out of the regular season? Because it's not like the MAC is going to go to the college football playoff. So I mean, shit, just don't even play the regular season. What's the point?
Yeah, and that's a team that really needs that particular player to be there. Of course they do. Led them to this point.
He's getting ready for the USFL draft. Okay.
Yeah, the Canadian League.
Well, guys, let's get everybody's predictions on these two huge games coming up, and go ahead and fucking pick on any of the other. There's a few bowl games that are worthy to pick on. I think Ed's probably.
I was already going to pick Auburn over Maryland, but yeah, it's pretty much a slam dunk now.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty much a slam dunk. Now that again, we could have had an interesting little game, but now you get Talia not going to play. Fun if he'd actually stayed in.
If he'd have stayed in and actually had a really good game, that would have gave Auburn some trouble. But yeah, without him in the game, that's pretty much the bread and butter.
Yeah,
Thorne playing.
Yeah, his trash out.
It doesn't matter at this point. He can throw for 80 yards, and Auburn's still going to win by a comfortable margin.
So, Pike, what are you looking at other than the CFP?
Well, I mean, other than the CFP games?
Yeah.
Shit, man. I'm really curious at the Missouri, Ohio State, Penn State, Ole Miss. I like both of those.
Those are both great marquees.
Yeah, I mean, those are. I think Penn State only had really one solid guy opt out, Chop Robinson, from what I understood. I think he opted out, which, again, I'll say it again. If Chop Robinson was healthy and not dealing with any injury, Chop Robinson, you're a pussy in my mind. Sorry. You can take it like it is. You're a pussy. Sorry. Yeah, you want to be a competitor? Go out there and fucking play Ole Miss, the big bad SEC that you all, we're evil, and you're better than us. Go out there and fucking play.
Now
Then.
remember,
Don't be
you're
a pussy.
doing this podcast as Justin Pike this evening, so you're getting Justin Pike in some serious trouble. What if this guy finds Justin Pike on the street and whips him out?
I don't know. I don't know what to do. But hey, I'm just being honest, man. I mean, it's but no, those are two games I'm interested in. I mean,
who's going to feel about this?
A bunch of Ohio State fans, for whatever reason, though, believe like Devin Brown is like him. I guess I don't know, but that don't even realize that Kyle McCord's mid-level ass beat out Devin Brown. So I don't really understand the narrative going around that we're going to be really good with Devin Brown. Like he wears number 33. He's obviously trash.
Well, I mean,
any motherfucker, he wears like 33 as a quarterback.
Did you see the quarterback? Or they played two guys for Syracuse, and one of the quarterbacks was number 89, and he was god awful.
Yeah, and you know how that went? 45-0.
Sure did.
So, Landon, what do you think about these two games, Penn State and
I'm gonna take Missouri over Ohio State. I think Missouri wants to be there. I don't think they have hardly any opt-outs at all because they want to be there. They want to be there. Ohio State, I mean, I question how much they want to win the game. I really do. I question Ohio State fan. Like, what kills me is these people these people will tell you bowl games mean nothing. These things are meaningless games. But then you'll ask a fan of that team, hey, man, what are you doing this Saturday? Oh, I'm watching the Ohio State game or I'm watching the Florida State game.
Yep.
Well, wait a minute. Yep. You just told me the games don't matter. So why are you even turning on the TV? Why don't you turn on Netflix and watch The Sopranos or something?
Well, now, with most of these bowl games that have already aired, that pretty much is kind of the same thing.
Hold up. Does Netflix have The Sopranos?
Out of boardom,
It might. I don't know. Does it? I know HBO does.
Okay.
Well, I think
HBO. You have to pay for that. We're poor, Landon. We're not. Hashtag
lifestyle
of the rich and famous.
Yes, thank you.
I've got HBO Max, so if it's there, I'll find it.
It's there.
I mean, but no, I'm interested. I think Missouri, though, just based off want to be there and everything, I think they will win that game. And then the Ole Miss Penn State game, I'm actually going to take Penn State. My problem with Ole Miss is Pete Golding was our defensive coordinator.
Yep.
And breaking news, he's pretty terrible when he plays teams with actual equivalent talent. So, I mean, I could see Penn State just lining up and basically kind of playing power football like Georgia did to Ole Miss and literally running for like 250 plus yards and fucking killing them. Like with Singleton and the other running back they have that's really good. I could totally see that. And then Kiffin's offense, like Lane Kiffin's a hell of an OC. And I wouldn't be shocked if Ole Miss went up 7-0 to 14-0 on Penn State. I really wouldn't. But the problem is, it's like when he throws that nice little punch at you and then you jab him back, he has no counter punch. It's like, I have nothing else. It's just, I mean, he's got up early on Alabama. He's got up early on Georgia. And then all of a sudden, once that opposing defensive coordinator adjusts, the offense just stalls. He can't do anything.
You and Ed are in total agreement on these two games. Am I right, Ed?
Yeah, Penn State's defense is real tough. And I could see Cody Schrader running wild against Ohio State.
And last week Ed said Missouri would beat Ohio State.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I think Missouri winning this game is going to be absolutely horrible for Missouri come next year. Because the preseason hype for Missouri going into the season is going to be stupid.
You're right.
Oh, we'll see if next year Missouri's not going to be a bad team. Missouri's got a hell of a recruiting class coming in.
We're talking about Missouri beating Ohio State. Was that even imaginable at the beginning of this season? Are you serious?
Oh, hell no. No.
Man, that's a fucking story right there.
No, I thought Missouri was going to go fucking like 8-4, 7-5.
Now they come out and they lose like 35-10 or some bullshit like that. Then okay, then there's your answer.
Well, let's get to these big games.
Okay.
So y'all just go at it.
Texas, Washington. We'll start with that.
Yes.
I'm gonna take Texas. I know Texas has a really like shaky pass defense. I think they're like 90 something in the country, But the problem I have is that Texas at the line of scrimmage, Texas has the best front four in the college football. Their front four is legit. I saw it with my own eyes. Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy, Alfred Collins, those are fucking dudes. They're better than Alabama. They're better than Michigan. They're better than Georgia. I've watched it. I saw it. I'm being 100% real here. They have the best defensive line coach in football in Bo Davis. I mean, their front four is really good. So I don't believe Washington has an O lineman that's going to be able to really handle them at all. I really don't.
Are you kidding? No, dude. That's why they were just voted number one offensive line.
Who the fuck is this?
Bruce Martinez.
This is Bruce.
Where did this fucking guy come from?
This is the dog father.
Dude,
Bruce is
Bruce Martinez.
Washington
was
fan.
rated the number one offensive team in the country, line in the country, and you're going to tell me they're hamburgers?
What? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you are kind of hard to hear, Bruce.
Are you? I'm sorry.
We got to get you a microphone like I got.
Yeah.
But I hear what Bruce is saying, and he thinks the offensive line at Washington, which is one of the best in the country, might win the what is it, the Outland Trophy. He thinks they're a match for Texas and myself.
Let me ask
I
you
think
something. We all watch the NFL draft, don't we?
Yeah.
Is there one offensive lineman for Washington projected to go first round?
Two.
Who?
No.
Is there we all have Google. Someone pull up a mock draft.
Round, but they're in the first one or two.
Babe, if we can pull up a mock draft right now, first round. Find me a mock draft that has a Washington O lineman going in the first round.
Okay.
Please. I mean, Washington's O-line versus Texas defensive line. I mean, now Washington's able to throw the football because, quite frankly, that's all they can do. It's not like they're going to run the football in Texas. They're not going to run the football. They're going to have to throw the football.
Oh, dude, I've heard this all season long.
You don't run the football well. You don't.
Hey, we just had a guy who went 150 against Oregon and ran all over him. And you can
Oregon's real stout up front, aren't they?
Yeah, they're one of the best.
No, Dylan Johnson's very
Those
good.
boys are a little skinny.
Yeah. No, you won't. Matter of fact, Bruce, I'll be more than happy to lay a side bet with you. I bet Washington will crack.
I don't bet. Okay.
Of course you don't. You would never bet. Come on.
You don't know.
It's a thing, man. He don't bet.
Bullshit.
It's like me. I don't drink. It's the same thing.
I don't suck dick. The same exact thing.
I wish I could hear him a lot better. I really do.
I can kind of hear him.
I'll
Bruce,
bet.
Bruce, say something.
Hello.
No, you said hello. Say something.
Well, what I just said was I don't bet. I don't need to bet.
He didn't get the joke.
Sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because you sound far off. You sound like you're on one of those papers.
Bruce, I'm just being honest with you though. You're going to go into this game and you're going to be one dimensional.
You're being a homer. I don't.
No,
care.
I'm not a Texas fan. I'm not a homer.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not a Texas fan at all. I'm not a homer.
You are now that you got that ass whipped by Texas.
Any respect.
Steve Sarkisian is your daddy.
Steve Sarkisian is.
But even if Washington can't run it though, they can throw. They can throw it to.
Absolutely,
Johnson
they can throw the football downfield, and Texas has a weakness in their pass defense that Washington could absolutely exploit. I 100% could see that happening, but for 4 quarters, I can't see that happening. I just can't. You don't win championships being a one-dimensional football team. You just don't. If you did, Mike Leach would have hoisted a national championship by now.
We are not.
But their running game is actually pretty good. Dylan Johnson is a good back that can catch it out of the backfield. So I think it all depends. I think the Texas defensive line is the key. Because if Penix can sit that back all day and throw darts, Texas is in trouble. If they put pressure on Penix, he can make mistakes. So
exactly.
But
I'm taking
another game. I thought there was another game too.
No. No,
There's another game. Yeah,
What's
Michigan by 9.
What's Washington rank in yards per game running the football?
Hey, dude,
I
got any idea, Bruce?
War running game did not develop until after about the 6th game.
Tell us, Justin.
When Dylan Johnson,
They rank 98th in the country.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
98th in the country. 98th. You gonna take a 98th ranked rushing offense in the country?
Throw the ball.
Just like
They throw the ball all the time.
This is not the same.
I understand they throw the ball a lot, but if that were the case, then their yards per carry would be high, wouldn't it, Ed? Wouldn't their yards per carry be pretty high if they just throw the ball a lot, but then when they do run it, they have a lot of success. So therefore, wouldn't their yards per carry be high? Well, let's see.
Possibly.
Their yards per carry.
Hey, dude.
Washington's yards per carry on the year.
A running game was non-existent at the beginning of the season. After Dylan Johnson, after the 6th game, Dylan Johnson got his legs back underneath him, and he ran 256 against USC, 125, 100 against Oregon State, and 95 against Utah. The dude, his legs got
there you go, Justin. Take that.
Justin, what's their yards?
So you only ran for 95 yards against Utah? Their yards per carry, excuse me, hold on a minute. Phone's being a little slow with the stream yard. Their yards per carry on the year, 4.52.
That's not too bad.
4.52.
Average.
That's not terrible. That's not terrible. That's just about middle of the road.
Yeah.
About middle of the road.
What I'm saying, war offensive, war running.
So I'm just telling you,
we are not.
I understand your running backs got a little bit better as the season went on. I understand that fully, and I agree. I understand you got better as the season going along. But you were playing the best front in college football. You can't come in there with just average and expect to have immense success.
And run it down their throat. Did I say that?
No, you're not. You're going to come in there and you're going to throw it all over the field on them if you're going to win the game.
We're going to have a balanced offense.
Oh.
No, you're going to come in there and Michael Penix, if Washington wins the game, Michael Penix is going for 350 plus and he's going to put on a show.
Maybe
if there's no world where Washington wins the game and Washington runs for 250 yards plus and Michael Penix has only about 200 yards passing.
That's true, but Penix could throw for 350 and Dylan Johnson could still get 100.
Dr. Balls, welcome back. I did not realize you were out.
There he is.
Yeah, I could barely hear you guys, so I went in and out for a second.
Yeah, we got lots of folks in here tonight. It's just kind of a party.
This is kind of a party, right? We got another big game. We got to talk about one more big game.
Man, you Alabama homers. That's all y'all want to talk about is Alabama.
Do we have to talk about it though? Like, do we really have to talk about it?
Yes.
Roll Tide, right?
Ed has a lot to say about how Michigan's going to win this game.
Karma.
Go ahead, Ed.
It's our karma.
Justin.
McCarthy must and will have a big game. I understand that Alabama's got some great secondary, but we've got two good receivers. We've also got a stud tight end that can stretch the field.
Pass that my way.
Donovan Edwards is a good back catching the ball out of the backfield. 33-24 Michigan.
Now, Ed, you know Donovan Edwards this whole year has not been that great.
I do know that.
He's not. He hasn't been that great. Honestly, he really hasn't.
To be fair, neither has Jalen Milroe. I mean, let's be honest. Remember, he sat out the whole entire South Florida game.
No. The problem is Donovan Edwards last year put on a show when Blake Corum went out. And everybody kind of thought this year Donovan Edwards would be like that dude. And he's kind of been that dud. this year. He really the hype and all that was around him. He hadn't lived up to it. You have to be honest.
He might throw a 70-yard dart for a TD like he did against Iowa 2 years ago in the Big Ten championship game. He can run, he can throw, he can catch. He's big, he's fast, he's got talent, and he's got something to prove in this game. Because you're right, he had a shit year.
He did. So but I've heard. I keep hearing about this guy from Michigan, Loveland. Who is he?
That's the tight end that can stretch. Cortland Loveland. He's a tight end that can stretch the field. He will be a top pick in the draft when he comes out, which I don't believe.
I've watched y'all all year, and I've never heard of this. I've heard Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Roman Wilson, J.J. McCarthy. I've never heard of this guy. I didn't even know Michigan had a pretty decent tight end. I really didn't.
They have one every year.
Yeah, I mean the last one I remember was obviously pretty solid was Jake Butt. I know he was really good. I seriously I kept hearing this Loveland. I'm like, who's Loveland?
Good. He's good.
I like Alabama's safeties in that matchup, though. Alabama's safeties, both of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure he's a really good player and everything like that. But look, to be fair, I just got through shutting down Brock Bowers. So, anything you throw at me, especially with a tight end, I'll take Caleb Downs, and he can cover him, and I'll be just fine. No disrespect. I'm just being honest with you from my point of view of how I view that.
Now, schematic wise, if you're Alabama, you can afford to put the other safety closer to the box and have Downs spine the tight end the whole game.
Yeah,
what makes it interesting is both teams have almost a month to come up with some new shit that the other guys haven't seen. So
let me ask you something, Ed.
That too,
a month to prepare. You trust Jim Harbaugh more than Nick Saban?
It's hard to say that you trust anybody more than
I'm gonna throw the ball in your court. You trust Jim Harbaugh more than Nick Saban a month to prepare?
Can't say that. No. But Harbaugh is also due to win one. I mean, he's a great coach.
Hey, he may be due, but due don't win football games.
No.
That's why they
somebody
play the
mentioned
game.
Bob Stoops earlier. Bob Stoops comes to mind when we talk about games like this of this magnitude.
Yeah, I mean, Harbaugh in the postseason has been pretty. Harbaugh in the postseason has been pretty rough. He's been rough. You have to admit that he's been pretty rough in the postseason.
When I think about Bob Stoops, I think about Oklahoma's inability with their high-powered passing game to win natties, and it makes me think of the Washington game again. Only the difference is even though Oklahoma's quarterbacks under Stoops were prolific, they weren't clutch. And Penix has proved clutch, and that's the thing that we never touched on about Washington is that he has demonstrated clutch over and over and over again. And I still believe if Washington has the ball last with a chance to win, they're going to do it.
All right, so everybody give their prediction on this game, and then we can go to bed, right?
Oh yeah,
that'd be fine. I'm gonna say Alabama beats Michigan 27-17.
Yeah, I like them 31-24.
Sorry, Ed. I know you picked last week, but now you got another shot at this thing.
33-24 Michigan.
Bruce.
Lord have mercy. If we give up 33, about this 1 point less than we did to Texas and Michigan, I believe I'd have a heart attack.
Bruce?
24-17.
24-17. Shannon?
I think the first team to 30 wins it. It's going to be a 35-28 affair. Roll Tide.
Now, Bruce, I'm going to come find you if I see Texas whooping that ass. I'm gonna come find you. I ain't gonna run and hide.
Ask any of these guys. I don't run from anyone.
Hey, Bob, I didn't quite hear your prediction.
I like Alabama 31-24.
Okay. I'm going with Alabama 28-27. Michigan's going to miss an extra point in the game.
Hey, Bruce, who's Washington center?
His name is Parker. Braille Parker. He's really
well.
good.
I tell you what. I want you to get on your knees on Sunday night, a little bit before Monday, and you say a prayer for old Parker.
Okay.
He gonna need a lot of praying, lots of Bruce praying. Okay. So you get on that, my man, and I'll see you. I'll see you Monday night. You have fun, my man.
And you better pray for yours because he's going to need it because Christ and the other kid is going to eat him up. We got some pass rushers, dude. We got 2 of them that are very good, and we got a new kid that's coming in, Will DeFree from North Dakota State. That's pretty damn good too. So no,
all right.
we got
So
a pass rush.
Bruce said it all, and we're going to bed, right?
Hallelujah.
All righty.
Good night, guys.
Thanks for having me on, guys. All righty.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the podcast on the X's and O's network. Be sure to keep up with our scheduled live casts and other presentations on Facebook at Smackologists or at Smacking Off, and on our YouTube channel at Smacking Off the Podcast.